BT11 set review, the final chapter. White cards and multicolor cards. As always, if you enjoy this type of content, do consider liking this video, sharing it, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Dimensional Phase brings quite a few multicolored cards, as Bandai expands dual colors, but hopefully never more than that. For white cards, there is only one white monocolor card in this set. Taiki, Kiriha, and Nene. This 4-cost white tamer lets you at the start of your main phase load a Crossheart or Blue Flare under a tamer, to gain 1 memory and draw 1 card. Like Kiriha and Taiki, your turn when you Digicross, you can suspend this tamer to use cards from under your tamers as Digivolution cards as well. And like all tamers, play it when it hits in the security. The 3 general card adds a little boost to Crossheart decks, now accelerating what you can possibly draw into, especially that one of for Shoutmon Cross 4. Multicolored wise, a slew of them are predominantly for Crossheart as well, the first being Shoutmon plus Star Sword. This Digimon digivolves for 0 from a red level 3, or 1 cost from a yellow level 2. Shame honestly, since Pikmons are your best egg. This Digimon is counted as both Shoutmon and Starmons, meaning anything that needs both, well, this boy covers it. On play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP, then if you Digicross with 2 cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. Meaning if you combine Shoutmon and Starmons to make this boy, you can take out even some level 4s. Cross 3 is the new addition to Crossheart to replace those Cross 4s. You'll need to cross Shoutmon, Ballistamon, and Darulomon in order to reduce the cost to a measly 1 memory. On play, reveal the top 3 and add 2 cards with Crossheart or Blue Flare in their traits to your hand, and start of your turn you can delete this Digimon to gain 1 memory. And of course, Material Save 2. While it doesn't unsuspend your tamers, you have quite a number of options now to draw cards or even add cards. Makes it easier to find more Shoutmon Cross 3s, that Cross 4, or even the big boy to set up deletion, blocker, and security attack +1. Shoutmon DX on the other hand returns as the first red-blue card of the Digimon trading card game. This card is also treated as having Omni Shoutmon and Z Greymon in its name. It material saves 2 and digicrosses from Omni Shoutmon and Z Greymon. On play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP or less, and also one of your opponent's Digimon may not attack until the end of the opponent's next turn. By deleting this Digimon, gain 1 memory at the end of attack. You either Digivolve from a level 5 red Digimon for 4, or you Digivolve from a blue level 6 for 3. Regardless, Crossheart decks rarely use the bigger monsters, as exhibited by BT10 Cross Encounter. You used your smaller ones to chip away, and only then did you use the big ones if it was typically a super rare or higher rarity. This is where Cross 7 comes into play. No longer are you dependent on Shoutmon for the rush, since this Digimon has its own rush. It also material saves 4, and on play deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon. Because you can cross potentially 6 materials, this Digimon's maximum DP is 16,000. And with a slew of other effects, you can give it +1 security check, blocker, reboot, and piercing. There's a lot of effects, but at the end of it, its cost is only 2 memory, if you slotted everything. This is the best monster for Crossheart moving forward into BT11, just gotta be careful with your tamers. Blue offers no other multicolored cards, so it's on to yellow multicolored cards in the form of the Sukumon archetype. First up, Shoutmon has a Digivolution cost of 1 regardless from yellow or black. Your turn when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Sukumon in its name, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Inheritable wise on deletion, if you have Sukumon or Shoutmon in your name, play a Shoutmon from your trash suspended without paying its memory cost. While there are currently only 2 Shoutmons in existence, one has at least the capability of blocking memory. Sukumon on deletion lets you reveal the top 3 and add 1 card with Shoutmon, Sukumon, or Edamon in its name, but then you trash the rest. For its inheritable all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, by deleting another Digimon with Sukumon in its name from the field, prevent that deletion. This card doesn't necessarily need you to control the Sukumon, so if you're in a really crappy mirror, well, it could be advantageous. Edamon brings some more fun, allowing you to Digivolve into it for a reduced cost of 3 if the level 4 is Sukumon. By trashing one Sukumon and its name from your hand or from this Digimon's Digivolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP and security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. And like Sukumon, the inheritable is identical. Edamon goes from blocker to DP reducer and security attack -1, which can in itself be valuable. But the real value comes in the form of King Sukumon. Same Digivolution requirements as Edamon, and also on play and when Digivolving if your opponent has 16 or more cards in their trash, or you have 3 or more cards with Sukumon in their name in your trash, one of your opponent's Digimon becomes Sukumon, white, 3000 DP until the end of the turn. Which means you can convert even Black War Greymon X into a Sukumon before attacking, because for each other Digimon with Sukumon in its name, you get security attack +1. Meaning in theory, if you attack and it dies on the first check, you can now remove the Black War Greymon X with your inheritable effect, assuming you have it. Metal Edamon finalizes the archetype with its on play and when Digivolving effect of reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and play any number of Digimon with Chumon, Sukumon, or Edamon in their name from among them with a total play cost of 7 or less without paying their memory cost. Then, trash the rest. More fuel for the fire. Literally. Luckily, his Digivolve cost is also simply 3 from a black or yellow Digimon. Moving to green cards, the first one is Tyrannomon, a new variant that on play or when Digivolving, play one Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. Could be any colored Tamer. But do keep in mind, you're mainly using this with Taiga. Additionally, while you have a Tamer in play for its inheritable, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. In terms of playability, I prefer this Tyrannomon over EX1, because if Taiga's already out, the effect simply whips. Although the Digivolution cost is a little bit more. Metal Tyrannomon is the key component for Tyrannomon and Machinedramon decks that enables you to trash security. Only problem is using its effect. Luckily, it's on play or when Digivolving that lets you suspend any number of your opponent's Digimon based on the number of green or black Tamers you have in play, and those Digimon don't unsuspend during the next unsuspend phase. Which gives you a turn to set up your big boss monster to start beating over them and trashing. This helps in some elements against Black War Greymon X, but I wish it also hit Tamers too. Tidamon rumbles in with a 4 cost from green or purple, and has piercing. When Digivolving, you may trash up to 3 cards in your hand. For each card that is trashed, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's suspended Digimon. While you do -3 yourself, there is the potential to turn this monster into a bigger body, and purple cards to trash that give you more value. And finally, among the green cards, Rust Tyrannomon. This card has its Digivolution cost reduced by 1 for each green and or black Tamer you have in play. Meaning if you have 2 Taigas on the battlefield, you can go into Metal Tyrannomon for free, then you can go into this for a simple memory cost of 3, because you have 2 Taigas that reduce it from 5. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, unsuspend this Digimon. Unfortunately, there's no way to give Tyrannomon Digimon inheritable blocker yet unless you go the Megadramon route. But it has some pros and cons versus the BT2 Rust Tyrannomon, which can attack unsuspended Digimon. Now my least favorite cards to go over. Don't get me wrong, I love Greymon, but this was a little too much. Greymon X is reintroduced as a 3 cost level 4 to Digivolve into from black or red. But from any Greymon, the cost is 0. 0! Bandai, why? While it does have protection from bounce or deletion by returning the x-antibody option card to the bottom of the deck, my issue with it is the main effect. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1 for each color of that Digimon. BT8 Metal Greymon costs 2. Ridiculous! But wait, there's more! Metal Greymon X also returns as a black-red Digimon with a cost of 4 from black or red, meaning this Digimon can also be reduced to just 2 memory. While it does cost 1 memory from a Metal Greymon, in general you can de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, pop a Digimon with 3000 DP or less with BT8 Metal Greymon, then go into this monstrosity and pop a Digimon with 6000 DP or less. But the even worse part? When you Digivolve into this Digimon, it can't be de-Digivolved or DP reduced through your opponent's next turn. With Yuya in conjunction, you can't affect it with option cards either. Which means, solely you need a Digimon effect to do something to the stack. In general, I think for this set, these are the most powerful cards introduced to the Greymon arsenal. Sure, Black or Greymon X can redirect the attack of the highest DP Digimon, and sure, if it has Black or Greymon or the X-antibody underneath it, once per turn when a Digimon unsuspends, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. But why? Why? Tuormon is a level 4 Digimon that can Digivolve for 1 from Daemon. It's a decoy Digimon that protects your Bagra army Digimon. On top of that, all turns your Yua Mono Tamers can't be deleted, and on a deletion, you may play one Daemon from your trash suspended without paying its memory cost. Tuormon adds a lot of potential to Bagra army decks, but again, BT10 and Digi-Cross weren't decks I explored too much when they were around, considering the restriction list kind of sent us back one set. Jumping back briefly, there's also Muso Nightmon, a Digimon that's treated as both Dark Nightmon and Tuormon. On play and when Digivolving, you may place one Digimon card with Nightmon in its name, or Bagra army in its traits, from your hand or trash at the top of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Then if this Digimon has Tuormon in the Digivolution cards, de-Digivolve 1 on 3 of your opponent's Digimon. On deletion, return up to 2 black or purple Digimon cards from your trash to your hand. Its Digi-Cross requirements are exactly what you'd expect, but again, I have little input here as I didn't play too much Dark Nightmon in BT10. And honestly, some Digi-Crosses are hard to pull off. Waru Cedramon on the other hand introduces the first blue-purple Digimon. Oh boy, Bandai, you walking into dangerous waters here. Literally. On play, or when Digivolving, you may play one purple or blue level 3 Digimon card from one of your purple or blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. Inheritable once per turn when your Digimon is played by an effect, gain 1 memory. This card may find potential uses in Aigistramon decks, being another Cedramon target and another Digimon that gives you more value when a Digimon pops out onto the battlefield. That wraps up all the Digimon, but there's still one Tamer and one option card to discuss. Mirei Mikagura is the first super rare Tamer that is dual colored. For 5 memory you have quite a few effects. First, start of your turn, gain 1 memory. Also your turn when you Digivolve into Angelomon or Lady Devimon, if you have 1 or less Digimon in play, by suspending this Tamer you may play the opposite of the Digimon you just Digivolved into. Angelomon? Play Lady Devimon for free. Lady Devimon? Play Angelomon for free. Both the new BT11 Angelomon and Lady Devimons gain you memory when the other, or Mirei, is played. But you can also trigger Angelomon's search effect in Security First to locate Lady Devimon or Mastamon, or trigger Lady Devimon's effect to add an Angelomon or Mastamon back to your hand from the trash before triggering Mirei's effect. Then if you happen to pass memory, end of turn DNA Digivolve into Mastamon if you have the Gatomon or Salamon. While the memory cost can be high, the newer BT11 Angelomon and Lady Devimons can gain you memory back with their effects. And finally, the dual color option card of this set, Hades Force. This option card has the destructive power of deleting your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP when it's hit in security. But if it's played from your hand, you can delete any number of Digimon or Tamers equal to the play cost of one of your Greymon Digimon, then attack a player. Because Black War Greymon X and Gaiomon have a play cost of 13, you can potentially delete a lot of smaller Digimon or multiple Tamers. The attack is just secondary. But do keep in mind, this option card fails to delete Digimon like Death Xmon if the option card sits in your hand. So while it is powerful, there are some drawbacks. In general, there are quite a few multicolored cards that really bring it up a notch for specific decks. Mainly Greymon. Which cards did you like? And as always, what excited you the most about this set? This coming week, I will resume normal deck profiles and what if episodes. Tactical Tuesdays may return, or they may not. I honestly haven't decided. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.